Hi everyone, we have set up this guide for anyone who is involved in the assessment of a student on placements. In order to do this, we will use a dummy account on PARE or PARE, depending on how you like to pronounce it. For the purposes of this guide, I will pronounce it as PARE. So what is PARE? PARE is an online practice assessment, record and evaluation, and has been funded by Health Education England since 2013 as a way of providing students, clinical assessor and university tutors with 24/7 access to a student's placement assessment documentation that can not be lost or damaged. Designed by a team hosted within the University of Chester, PARE as the result of a substantial collaboration of Northwest universities and healthcare provider organisations. Online PARE can be accessed from any web browser on any device via the PARE website address, onlinepare.net, which will take you to the PARE homepage. As you can see, we have 2 portfolios loaded up and ready to go for the first and final social work placement. This how-to tutorial has been set up to act as an initial start point for any practice educators and on-site supervisors who are new or unfamiliar to using PARE. Students are given their own support with access PARE via university sessions, so the focus will be on your role, which is completing the assessments and providing signatures for the learner's assessment documentation. So how to access PARE? If you've been allocated a student at the university, either as an on-site supervisor or practice educator, you will need to access PARE. Our placement administrator will organise securing your login details, and these will be sent to you via email. When a new account is created on PARE, the system generates a PARE account activation email, which is sent to your PARE account email address. Please check your junk email as this does not come from the university. It may not go directly into your inbox. When you receive confirmation that an account has been set up for you on PARE, it is advisable to save the PARE website to the favorites on your browser or as a shortcut on your desktop to make things a little bit easier for you. On logging into your new PARE account, the first screen that you will see is the PARE dashboard. From this screen, you can familiarise yourself with navigation around the PARE website. You may also wish to view your PARE profile screen accessed from the PARE dashboard to check that the contact details entered for your new account are correct. You will only be able to access relevant users you are assigned to. For you, this may only be one student portfolio. I plan to navigate through this portfolio just to highlight some of the key documents, their purpose and your role within these. The PARE documents that you have access to should present themselves on this screen and can be easily accessed by clicking into them. So some key things to highlight on the dashboard. So here's your profile. If you click on this, on their view profile, clicking on this will allow you to view and update your PARE account details. You can also access your account details, including your PARE profile, via your account ID link at the top right corner of the website. Notifications. So you will get links for notifications on the dashboard as well. If you click on the link to access any messages the system has sent to your account, such as a notification that someone has submitted new information to PARE, you can set preferences as to how often you receive reminder emails that you have unread notifications via the view profile button on the dashboard and selecting my preferences. Your PARE documents, practice assessment record document image will display on each PARE document that you have set up on PARE. Click on the image to access the document. This section displays documents images as a carousel feature. So if there are more documents to display than are currently viewable in this section, you will see an arrow to the right of the section, and that will allow you to scroll through the documents. Note that this section does not display if you do not have any PARE documents set up on PARE at that time. Timesheets. Timesheet details are also contained on the dashboard. Hours are recorded by the students and will need to be signed off by either the practice educator or on-site supervisor, depending on who is the most appropriate person. And we'll look at those a little bit more shortly. So now let's click into one of these portfolios. So let's click into this. So just some important things to highlight initially. So we've got page navigation on each of the pages individually. So you can click next and you can click previous on all of the pages to navigate through the portfolio. However, the main way to easily navigate through PARE is via the green contents menu, which can be found on this green tab on the right-hand side. By clicking on this, every single section of the PARE document will open up and can be navigated. You are able to click on the page you require and will be taken directly there. So let's click on the Statement of Student Declaration. We are automatically taken to this page. This can initially look quite overwhelming due to the amount of pages. However, this is largely because there is a character limit for each page, which means some of the key documents are spread across a number of pages. For example, the Practice Learning Agreement meeting is spread across pages 6 all the way through to page 12. So that actually takes up quite a large part of the portfolio. The list of pages displayed will also include the contents page for the document, which is a useful page to view the status of page sign-off throughout the document. So let's click into the contents page. This will be particularly useful when finalising a portfolio, as this section should have all green ticks for each assigned member of the placement. The contents page shows at a glance page of signatures that have been supplied and those that have not. A green tick indicates signed, a red cross indicates unsigned. For placements in which there is no on-site supervisor, red crosses will remain in this section. Sometimes it may not feel clear if there's an on-site supervisor attached to the placement. Basically, if there is a qualified practice educator on-site within the same team as the students, there will not be an on-site supervisor attached. However, if you're feeling unsure about this, this can be discussed and agreed within the Practice Learning Agreement meeting at the outset of the placement. Just another point to highlight here, we've got the discussion page. Please note that the discussion tab, this section is for learners and practice educators to discuss PARE-related issues. This can be a way of notifying everyone to any potential issues and can avoid the need for sending emails. This is an optional but rarely used function and creates an informal forum for discussion and prompts about the portfolio. However, sending an email can often resolve issues quickly as well, so don't feel like you have to use this section. We've got the timesheet tab here. So this takes you to the timesheets panel, which lists all timesheets for placements linked to the PARE document. So if you click on the edit symbol on this pencil here, this will open up the timesheet. On-site supervisors and practice educators will have access to the learner's timesheet. You'll be able to view the hours entered and sign off each week completed and also add notes if needed. For example, you could record why a student was absent. Only on-site supervisors or practice educators working alongside students can verify a student's completed hours. It is important that you are aware of the expected hours students should complete each week. For a full-time working week, a student should be completing 35 hours, 7 hours per day, not including breaks. Students must take a minimum of 30 minutes for lunch each day, which makes it a 7.5-hour day minimum. This also includes an allowance of 30 minutes per day reflective thinking time. This will be discussed more in the Practice Learning Agreement meeting. This time cannot be accrued beyond 1 week, but students can take this time whenever is convenient for them, as long as this meets the needs of the placement setting and everyone is in agreement. These rules may vary slightly for apprentices who are paid and contracted to work set hours.